number 10. I'm your host Carlos, and today we're going to make some pulled pork sandwiches, the kind that you would find at the Flame Tree BBQ at the Animal Kingdom. Now there's two parts to this recipe. The first part is we're going to make the rub that we're going to rub on the pork, let it sit for a bit. Now we're going to make the pork in a slow cooker and we'll add some liquid smoke in order to give it that smoky flavor. But of course, if you have the time and you have the wherewithal, go ahead and do it on the grill with some hickory smoked chips and enjoy it that way. So we're going to start by making the pork, and then the second part is we're going to make the barbecue sauce, the yummy barbecue sauce that you get at the Flame Tree BBQ to add to the pork. So let's get started with the ingredients for the pork rub. For the barbecue pork rub, we're going to need 4 tablespoons of seasoned salt. You can make your own or you can buy it pre-mixed. Let me know if you need the recipe. I can definitely send that to you. And 1 tablespoon each of paprika, get a smoky paprika if you can, chili powder, and black pepper, 3/4 of a teaspoon of garlic, 3/4 of a teaspoon of onion, and 1.5 teaspoons of cumin. And to round it off, we're going to use a cup or 8 ounces of sugar. Now very simply, all we're going to do is we're going to take all those ingredients, put them into a bowl, mix it up, and then we're going to rub it on our pork and let our pork sit for a few minutes. 15 to 20 minutes should be enough. Now we're using about 4 pounds of pork here, but you can adjust the recipe, making more or less of the spice as you go along. Now the important thing at this point is to make sure we get the spice on the pork, rub it in, and get it into all sides of the pork. Now we'll put this in the fridge and let it sit for about 20 minutes to half an hour. Now that the pork has had some time to have all those spices infused into the meat, the way I typically make slow roast pork is I'll use a slow cooker. And I'll use about a cup of stock. In this case I'll use beef stock. I'll have a couple of drops or a teaspoon or so of the smoke flavor. The hickory smoke is what I use. Now, of course, if you're going to make it the long way, you can do it in a grill with actual smoked chips. But I find this does a great job in getting that flavor infused into it without it being overpowering. And then we're going to put the meat in. Now, you'll have to watch the meat. It could take somewhere between 4 to 6 hours depending on your slow cooker. Check on it. About halfway through, flip the meat so it cooks evenly on both sides. By the end of it, the meat should be just flaking away. Hey, here's a little trick for you to bring some of that Disney magic home. When you're riding Spaceship Earth and you're going through the Rome burning scene, you get the smell of Rome burning. here's how you make it at home. So in order to do this, you're going to need a diffuser. And all the diffuser is a vessel on top that's safe to have a flame attached to it, and a base that has a place for a candle, a little tea candle in it. So we're going to take the diffuser part and put in about, fill it up about halfway with water. Add a few drops of the liquid smoke. You can start smelling it already. And then we're going to light the diffuser, or light the candle in the diffuser. And pretty soon you'll be reliving the memories of Rome burning on Spaceship Earth. So now that the barbecue pork is going in the slow cooker, we're going to start on the barbecue sauce. Now, one of the things when Disney puts out recipes, they're making huge batches. Obviously, for a family, you definitely don't need huge batches unless you have a huge family. In our case, I usually break the recipe down into about a quarter of the original recipe. What I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to do both recipes for you online. So when you go to our website and go to the recipe section, what I'm actually going to do is I'll put the recipe for the full amount, and then I'm going to put my recipe in, which is about, cuts everything down to about a quarter. This recipe for the barbecue sauce is dead easy. A lot of ingredients, so we'll go through those first. But as far as making the recipe, it's basically throw everything into the pot and let it simmer for about 30 minutes. The longer you let it simmer, actually the better the flavors infuse and the mellower it gets. So let's get started with the ingredients. Now for the barbecue sauce, we're going to need a half liter or 14.5 ounces of ketchup, 50 milliliters or 1 3/4 ounces of rice wine vinegar, 30 milliliters or about an ounce of molasses, and 120 milliliters or about 4 ounces of water. For the spices, we're going to need a half tablespoon each of chili powder, smoky paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, and brown sugar, and half a teaspoon each of turmeric and cumin. Now to make the barbecue sauce, it's easy. We're just going to put all the ingredients into a pot and let it simmer 20 minutes to half an hour. And like I said, the longer you leave it, the better it will get. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so it's been about 4.5 hours. We're going to take the pulled pork out and we're going to shred it. And there you have it, barbecue pork sandwich from Flame Tree BBQ at the Animal Kingdom. We're going to have it with our favorite sides, coleslaw and baked beans, just like they do at Flame Tree. For the recipe, go to our website, www.culinarydizlike.com. Email us at info@culinarydizlike.com for any suggestions for future shows and feedback on this show. Don't forget, if we can do it, so can you. Bon appetit.